Hey guys, welcome back. So it's Yogi Doug Johnson back with another Power Yoga sequence for you, another Power Yoga class. And in this one we work up toward Bakasana, which is the crow pose, and this is for upper body strength. We work up toward Dvijasana, which is the bird pose, and that's for our standing strength, our standing legs. And Virabhadrasana, which is the tiger pose, and this helps with our core strength, core stability. And then finally, Natarajasana, or the dancer, which will help us with our flexibility and also our balance. So I really hope you enjoy the class. If you do, please give me the thumbs up and the like. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment below. And if you like this kind of content, yoga, spirituality related content, please subscribe to the channel. All right, everyone, enjoy. Namaste. Let's begin by finding a comfortable seat, closing our eyes and sitting tall. I think some people might feel like this is sort of the throwaway part of the class. For me, this is actually probably the most important part. So I'm going to encourage you to just really give your attention over to this moment as it's presenting itself. As human beings, we experience a lot of different emotions, different sensations, a lot of different thoughts that can pull us in different directions. And so sometimes when we really become present, we can feel almost like we are split in many different directions. So one of the interpretations of the word yoga is to join together all these different parts and to realize that they aren't actually separate. And so one way we can do this is just by sort of relaxing back into our awareness of all the different things, all the different elements, the emotions, the thoughts, the sensations that are part of our experience. And we just notice that they're all contained within the same space that we would call our awareness. That it is our awareness that is aware of all of these things. Now, this may not instantly bring us relief, and that's okay, but this is the beginning of a process that eventually can really allow us to live a human life from a place of much more peace, tranquility, and joy than most people experience. Now, I encourage you to notice that within that space, there is your breath. And all you have to do is tune into it. There it is. Now, you might have certain thoughts about your breathing. Oh, it's deep, or it's shallow, or it's rushed. But one reason the breath is used is because a lot of times we don't have a lot of thoughts about it. We can just sort of feel it. It's not good or bad, it's just there. And then, as usual, from that space of being aware of that breath, we'll begin to deepen it. So we inhale and fill the belly first, then the ribs, and then the upper chest. As we exhale, we reverse this: chest, ribs, and then belly, pull in toward the spine. Once you've established this deep 3-part breathing, we'll add the ocean sound, ujjayi, by constricting the throat, just like fogging a mirror but with the mouth closed. Make sure the inhales and exhales are the same length. And with your next exhalation, come forward into a tabletop position. In tabletop, let's begin cat-cow. As we inhale, tailbone lifts, belly drops, crown of the head comes up. As you exhale, tailbone tucks, back rounds, crown of the head comes down. Once you've repeated the movement enough times to feel that you've warmed up your spine, tuck the toes, lift the hips, and come up and back into downward facing dog. And in this first down dog, let's walk it out to warm up our feet and legs. Now, once you've done that, come into your full expression of downward facing dog. Hands shoulder width, fingers spread wide, chest drawing toward the toes, feet hip distance, and heels reaching toward the ground. The next exhalation, let's walk our feet toward our hands, come into a ragdoll. Grabbing the opposite elbow and just dangling at the front edge of the mat. Take a little bit of time to just feel the back side of the body. And then on our inhale, we'll gradually roll up to standing, stacking ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and heels. Let's bring our feet to touch, and as we inhale, draw the arms up for standing back bend, Anuvritasana. Lengthening from the pubic bone through the chin. Unless your neck hurts, then keep your chin tucked. Inhaling through center. As you exhale, release into forward fold or Uttanasana. Bending the knees as much as necessary, bringing the palms flat and letting the neck relax. With the next inhale, come to half lift or Ardha Uttanasana, bringing your fingertips to the mat or maybe taking hands to your shins. As you exhale, plant the hands and step to the top of a push-up for plank pose. Make sure the wrists are below the shoulders and that the shoulders are engaged. And have your hips intersect a point between the middle of your shoulders and the middle of your heels. Let's drop the knees, and with the next exhale, lower down halfway with the elbows hugging the ribs. Taking a breath here, we'll exhale the rest of the way down. Press the tops of our feet and hands into the mat and inhale to Cobra or Bhujangasana. The next exhale, lower back down, press back to tabletop, and then to downward facing dog. From downward dog, we'll inhale to the toes and fill the lungs.
And as we exhale, step, jump, or float to the front edge of the mat. As we inhale, we come back to standing back bend. And then grabbing the right wrist with the left hand, we exhale, send our hips to the right as we pull to the left. Ashta Chandrasana, half moon. In this pose, try and lengthen from your waist through your wrist as you keep the right shoulder stacked above the left and both shoulders stacked above the hips. The inhale, return to the center position, and as you exhale, take it over to the other side. On the inhale, expand your left side, and on the exhale, feel any tension dissolve. Inhale back to center, and then exhale to forward fold. Inhale to half lift, and exhale again to the top of a push-up. This time, choose whether you want knees up or down. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, lower down halfway, elbows hugging the ribs. Inhale, straightening the arms and legs for up dog. And then as you exhale, pulling both feet in simultaneously as you return your hips to downward facing dog. The next inhale, let's again come to the toes. And as we exhale, make our way to the front edge of the mat. One more time, inhaling up to standing back bend. Exhale to half moon. Inhale back to center and exhale to the other side. Inhale back to center and exhale into chair pose, Utkatasana. Sinking the hips down far enough so that you feel the legs working. This is often called chair pose, but it's also known as awkward pose. So if you're feeling awkward, you're doing it right. The next exhalation is release into forward fold or Uttanasana. Inhaling to half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. And then if possible, exhale, step, jump, or float right to the bottom of a push-up. Inhale to upward facing dog. And then if you're able to, on the exhale, put a push-up in as you come back to downward facing dog. In downward dog, let's bring our feet to touch. We inhale the right leg up and back, bend the knee, and draw it in toward our belly, out to the right and back behind us, making large circles with the hip. Do a few in each direction. Then taking a nice deep breath as you exhale, place the foot between the hands, drop the back knee, and inhale, raise the torso up and back for low lunge or Anjeneyasana. Feel this posture at the front of your left hip. Take a deep breath and exhale to the bottom of your push-up, making your way back to downward facing dog. In downward dog, let's bring our feet to touch and we'll inhale the left leg up and back. Bending the knee, we draw it in toward our belly, to the left and back behind us several times. And then reversing it. Let's take a deep breath, and as we exhale, lunge. Inhale to low lunge. As you hold this position, take several breaths into the front of your right hip. Exhale, bottom of your push-up, making your way back to downward facing dog. From downward dog, exhale to tabletop position. From tabletop, inhale, lift the right foot up and back. Lift your head up and back. And imagine you're trying to touch the sole of your foot to the crown of your head. This is called tiger pose. Exhale that leg down after several breaths. And then inhale the left leg up. Let your belly drop. This is a type of back bend. Even though you can see I'm nowhere near touching the crown of my head to the sole of my foot, I am still actively reaching back as though I could. After several breaths, exhale the leg back down. From here, take a vinyasa or go straight back to downward facing dog. From downward dog, inhale to the toes, and as you exhale, step, jump, or float to the front edge of your mat. Inhale to standing back bend, and then exhale to Malasana or squat. Come all the way down, bring your feet as wide as necessary, and see if it's possible to get the heels to the ground. It isn't for everybody, and that's okay. So if your heels are up, that's all right. If you feel unstable, try putting something underneath them like a blanket or a rolled towel. The toes and the knees generally face in the same direction. And what we'd like to do today is take our hands to the heart center, and we'll just let our elbows press into our knees. So we're creating a little bit of a groin stretch here, similar to frog pose. And then as I do that, I'm going to reach up and out and lengthen out of my waist. So it's like I'm trying to stretch my spine as long as I can. This pose is called Malasana or Garland. From here, let's again inhale up to our standing back bend, and we'll exhale as we release into the forward fold. Inhale to half lift, or if you know this arm balance, which we will cover today, Bakasana, you can do that here. And then if you can jump back, you can go right into the Vinyasa from Bakasana or crow pose. From downward dog, let's bring our feet to touch. We'll inhale the right leg up and back for three-legged dog pose. Let's keep the legs straight and lifted high. Keep the hip down and have the foot, knee, and hip point straight toward the ground. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, go ahead and lunge. Once you're in the lunge, try dropping down onto your forearms. Bend the back knee, reach back and grab the foot. This is called a twisting dragon. If you cannot hold the foot, that's okay. You can simply take your hand to the knee and just push the shoulder back, taking a nice deep twist here. Then releasing the leg. From here, we again take the bottom of our push-up and make our way back to downward dog. In down dog, let's bring feet to touch and we'll inhale the left leg up and back. Really try and lift the leg without lifting the hip. As we exhale, we place the foot between the hands and drop down to the forearms. Then again, you can take your hand to your knee for the twist, and if possible, reach back and grab the foot, opening up the front of the right hip and thigh a little deeper. Let's release that foot. And then again, Vinyasa back to downward facing dog. From the downward dog, as we exhale, we'll come down to hands and knees. And we'll take another look at the tiger pose. In Sanskrit, this is Vyaghrasana. So we inhale, let's lift the right leg up and we reach our crown of our head back. And then as we exhale, we bring the leg all the way in, round our back and try and touch our knee to our nose. Then we inhale, lifting up. So it's a little bit like cat-cow, but with one leg lifted. Good, let's put that leg back on the ground and now we'll switch to the left side. Inhale, lift the leg, drop the belly, crown of the head up. Exhale, round the back, bring the knee toward the nose and tuck it in. Good, please continue. And we'll place that knee back on the ground there. And then from here, again, you can go straight back to down dog or Vinyasa back, whichever feels right for you. From here, we'll inhale to the toes, and as we exhale, make our way again to the front edge of the mat. Inhaling up to our standing back bend. Let's again exhale to Malasana. So I like options when I teach, and if you would like to stay right here in Malasana, this might be appropriate for you. Just remember you're going to be lengthening your spine out of the waist as you hold this pose. Another pose that does a very similar thing is called crow pose or Bakasana. One of my teachers studied quite a bit in India, and he saw many meditators doing the crow pose as a way to stretch their low back out after meditating, When you're sitting in meditation, it can compress your low back. So poses like Malasana and crow pose can be a nice way to open up that low back again after sitting for long periods of time. Crow pose is an arm balance, so many people find it quite challenging, so I like to work up to it in a few steps. The first step is what I like to call baby crow, and this hopefully helps us get over some of the fears that we have doing crow pose, and also gives us a sense of what it feels like to balance the weight of our body on our arms and shoulders. So to do this pose, we drop down onto our elbows. Reach across, grab the opposite elbow, and then just place the palms flat on the ground with the arms more or less parallel with one another. From there, we tuck the toes and lift the hips, much like what's called dolphin pose. We walk our feet in, and then try and place the knees into the back of the arms, or we can try hugging the side of the arms if we have long legs and a shorter torso. Once my legs are in position, I want to be sure to activate the shoulders so I'm not collapsing and letting the shoulders be passive. I am using the muscles to support the body. Then I bring my face very close to the ground. However, I'm not actually touching the ground. And then I try lifting maybe one set of toes at a time a few times. Just see how that feels. And then, if that feels okay, I can lift both sets of toes at the same time. This is a type of forearm stand, even though it may not look like one, but the entire weight of my body is borne on my forearms. Good. Then let's return to standing back bend to help us release that pose, which was kind of really crunched up on the front side. So this is a nice stretch, release, and we exhale to forward fold. Inhaling to half lift. Again, you could do crow, or if you do handstand as part of your practice, you could do that here. And then as we exhale, we take the bottom of our push-up, making our way back to downward dog. In downward dog, let's bring our feet to touch, and we'll inhale the right leg up and back. We'll bend the knee and bring it over to the left, and just let the weight of the leg pull the right waist open a bit. This can be tricky for some people, but see if you can find a position where you feel a pulling or tugging in the waist. Then take a nice deep breath, and as you exhale, place the foot between the hands, and then inhale up into Crescent lunge Ashta Chandrasana. In Crescent lunge, you'd like your front foot and knee pointing straight ahead, the knee lunging directly over the heel, the right thigh approaching parallel with the ground. The left leg is straight, the left hip is pulling forward in the right hip back, and the left heel is reaching toward the ground, but it won't reach the ground even though I'm pressing it down. From here on our next inhale, we'll straighten the right leg, and then as we exhale, we're going to bend our arms, bend our knee, and bend our back, and what we want to feel is a nice strong stretch at the front of the left hip. Then we inhale and again return up, and then exhale, stretch a little deeper into the front of the left hip. Let's do that 3 more times, just gently increasing the stretch at the front of the hip. Good. Inhale the arms up and exhale to the bottom of the push-up, making your way back to downward dog. In downward dog, let's bring our feet to touch, and we'll inhale the left leg up and back. Bending the knee, we bring that foot over to the right, and again, trying to allow it to stretch our left waist. Try and keep that left hand firmly planted on the ground. Take a nice deep breath, and as you exhale, lunge. And inhale to Crescent lunge, Ashta Chandrasana. Once you've found the full expression of this posture, with the next inhale, straighten the front knee. As you exhale, bend the knee, bend your arms, and bend your back, increasing the stretch at the front of the right hip. Repeat 4 more times. Inhale the arms up and exhale to the bottom of your push-up, making your way back to downward facing dog. From our downward dog, as we exhale, we'll release again to a tabletop position. And we'll again look at tiger pose. This time, let's see if we can add the arm. Inhale, lift the right leg and the left arm in front of you. As you exhale, draw the arm and the leg in, passing the elbow past the knee and the knee past the elbow, and hugging the thigh and arm as close to your chest and belly as you can. And then inhale, lifting up, and exhale again, tuck it in. Good, 3 more times with the breath. Inhale and lift up, and exhale, release. Side 2. Inhale and lift, and exhale, release. Either Vinyasa or go straight back to down dog. From the downward dog, we'll inhale to our toes, and exhale, step, jump, or float to the front edge of the mat. Inhaling again to standing back bend. Let's exhale once again to Malasana. So this is an opportunity to either be repeating Malasana for the 3rd time, maybe trying the baby crow pose for the 2nd time, especially if you felt like you almost got it, but you weren't quite there. Or if you find Malasana just really too easy, then you might want to challenge yourself. Even if you don't feel like you can quite get it, it is through trying to do things that we cannot yet do that we actually, our body learns and grows. So don't be afraid to try something that you're not sure you can do yet. To take things to the next step or the next level, we try the crow pose. And to do crow pose, there's a few things to really keep in mind. One is, at least to start, we want the elbows bent quite a bit. So these arms, that the elbow is at a right or 90-degree angle, are called chaturanga arms. The shoulder, the elbow, and the wrist all stack. It's very, very important, biomechanically speaking. So what we want is to bring those arms to the ground. Notice I have not straightened my arms when I did that. So my arms are still bent. Now the next thing that we need to understand about doing arm balances is most of my weight is here. So if I'm going to balance on my hands, I need equal weight in front of my wrist and behind my wrist. Since most of my weight is here, then I need to somehow get that weight over my wrists. And the way that I do this is by lifting my hips really high, at least to start. From there, I rest the weight of my legs against my bent arms. Again, notice that my arms are still bent very deeply. I see many people in classes trying to do this. Okay, it's much harder that way. So the arms are bent. I rest the weight of my shins against my arms. Then I look up. And the reason I do that is because I tend to move in the direction I'm looking. That's called drishti in yoga. So if I'm looking down, I'm probably going to face plant, and that's not what I want to do. So I look up. Then once I'm looking up, I can try lifting my sets of toes just as I did before, one at a time, just to see how it feels. Letting the arms bear more weight. After doing this, I might feel that I actually have the strength and coordination to balance, in which case I can lift both legs simultaneously. Once I'm done that, I can begin to drop the hips and straighten the arms more and more, but that might take a long time before you get there. As you do that, you begin to stretch back here, as I mentioned earlier, which is the reason that many meditators do this posture. With our next inhalation, let's come all the way up to standing back bend. As we exhale, we release into forward fold. Inhaling to half lift, exhale to the bottom of your push-up, making your way to downward facing dog. From downward dog, let's bring our feet to touch. We'll inhale the right leg up and back. We're going to bend the knee, open the hip, and if you feel comfortable doing so, we'll flip the dog over. Once you've done that, try moving the arm in the air, articulating the glenohumeral joint. Let's take a nice deep breath. As we exhale, lunge, and then inhale to crescent lunge. From crescent lunge, exhale your arms out like wings. Take a nice deep breath. With the next exhale, transition to warrior 3. Have the back leg lift, foot flexed, toes, knee, and hip pointing straight down, just like in three-legged dog pose. With the next exhale, try sweeping your arms forward, parallel with the ground. For more challenge, try bending the standing leg. Exhale to the bottom of your push-up, making your way back to downward dog. Let's bring our feet to touch, and we'll inhale the left leg up and back. We bend the knee, open the hip, and again, we can flip the dog if that's appropriate for us. Moving that shoulder, gently working that glenohumeral joint. And then taking a nice deep breath and exhaling to the lunge and inhaling to crescent lunge. Exhale, grow some wings. Take a nice deep breath. And with the next exhale, transition off of the back leg. Take a deep breath there, and as you exhale, come into your full expression of Warrior 3. Arms, torso, and leg as close to parallel with the ground as we can manage. More challenge, you bend the standing leg. Exhale to the bottom of your push-up, making your way back to downward facing dog. The next exhale will release to a tabletop position. Inhale, the right leg up and back, and then try reaching back with the left hand. Grab the foot, and then kick the foot up and back for one-handed tiger pose. Try and keep kicking up and back until you feel a stretch at the front of the left shoulder and the front of the right hip. Exhale and release one-handed tiger. Inhale, side 2. Notice how the pose changes with each breath. Exhale and release. From here, make your way back to down dog. From downward dog, we'll inhale to the toes and exhale as we make our way to the front edge of the mat. Inhaling again to standing back bend and exhaling to Malasana. So again, this might be your 4th time doing the Garland pose, which is this pose here. Might be your 3rd time trying the baby crow. Your 2nd time trying Bakasana or crow pose. And if you feel comfortable with all of those, then what I recommend is starting to work on jumping back from crow pose. So I only recommend this if you know you can do crow pose every single time without question. So you come into your crow pose, and then from there, with an exhale, you shoot your feet back to the bottom of a push-up. Inhale to upward dog, and then exhale to down dog. Again, try and find something that is a challenging thing for you to do, but in which you still feel that you can bring a lot of awareness to it. If you've ever experienced overwhelm, then when we're in overwhelm, we aren't very aware, we're just reacting. And then at the same time, if we're doing something that's very easy for us, there's no chance of overwhelm, but there can be a kind of sleepiness that comes in. So in yoga, we always want to sort of be on that edge between overwhelm and that sleepiness. We want to be right there. And in yoga, we call that your edge. Let's inhale back to standing back bend, and we'll exhale into forward fold. Inhale to half lift and exhale to the bottom of your push-up. From the bottom of our push-up, let's bring our feet to touch. We'll inhale the right leg up and back. And as we exhale, we touch the right knee high up on the right arm, just like in crow pose. From here, I try and shift the weight over my wrists and then lift the back leg up. This is called one-legged crow pose, Eka Bakasana. Taking a few breaths there and then inhaling the leg up and back. We exhale and again lunge. Inhale up to crescent lunge and exhale, grow some wings. Take a deep breath here, and with the next exhale, come into warrior three. Good. From there, we bring the arms out to the side and then bend the back knee. Lifting the head, neck, and chest to face forward, we reach the foot toward the crown of the head, just like we did in tiger pose. And this is called bird pose or Dvijasana. Exhale, bottom of the push-up, making your way back to down dog. From down dog, feet touch. Inhale, left leg up and back. And exhale, one-legged crow pose. Even just trying to do this pose can be very beneficial, even if you can't quite do it yet. Then inhale that leg up and back, and exhale as you lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge, and exhale, grow some wings. Take a deep breath, and exhale to bird pose. Take a deep breath, exhale, bottom of your push-up, making your way back to downward dog. From downward dog, we're going to exhale to tabletop one last time. And in tabletop, let's do same side tiger. Bending the right knee, we reach back and try and grab with the right hand. So this is definitely quite a bit of balance involved in this one. Once I have the foot, I try and kick up and back, opening up the entire right side of my body from my shoulder through my knee. Exhale, release, same side tiger, and try on the other side. Remember that that leg is quite active, so you're kicking it up and back the whole time. Exhale, release the pose, and make your way to downward dog. From downward dog, let's inhale to the toes. As we exhale, we'll make our way again to the front edge of the mat one last time. Inhaling to standing back bend. We'll exhale our hands out to the sides. Palms facing back or out. Thumbs facing back. Feet together. Shifting weight to the left foot, I bend the right knee and grab the ankle from the inside. My thumb is still facing back. Drawing the knees in, I inhale the left arm up. As I exhale, I send the foot back as much as I can, just like in tiger pose. Once I feel I can't go any further, the next exhale I hinge from the hips, and I try and get my head, neck, and chest to face forward, just like in bird pose. Inhale, come all the way back up. And exhale, release the dancer. Side 2. Bend the left knee, grab the foot, inhale the right arm up, and we exhale into the pose. Inhale back up and exhale, release the dancer. Inhale, standing back bend. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, bottom of your push-up, making your way back to downward dog. Good. From downward dog, let's exhale to child pose. Come down to our hips to heels and resting the forehead on the mat if that's possible. If this pose is not comfortable for you, choose any position that is restful and relaxing for you. From child, take a nice deep breath, and as you exhale, walk your hands over to the left side, stretching your right waist. Inhale back to center. And exhale to the other side. Inhale back to center and exhale there. The next inhale, go ahead and sit up, cross the ankles, and bring the legs out in front of you. From here, inhale, extend arms and legs, and exhale as you roll back onto your back. Once you get there, bend the knees and place the feet on the ground about hip distance, maybe a little bit wider. Place the feet very close to your hips and rest your hands alongside your hips, palms down. As you inhale, lift the hips up, interlace fingers, join palms, and shrug one shoulder under and then the other. Now try and lift the hips even higher. This is called bridge pose. Continue to hold bridge, or if you prefer to go a little further, release the hands, bring them alongside your head, and then press up into Urdhva Dhanurasana or wheel pose. With the exhale, slowly come back down. And let your knees drop in against one another. Feet maybe mat distance. Let your arms relax to the sides. Now draw both legs in, give them a squeeze. You might try making a few circles with your knees, or or rocking gently side to side or forward and back. And then extend the arms to the sides, keep the knees together, and drop them to the left as you look to your right in Jathara Parivartanasana. So we inhale, let's bring knees through center, and we'll exhale the knees to the other side as we look away from them. Then inhaling, knees back to center. Let's grab the soles of our feet and begin pulling down on the feet, drawing the knees toward the ground, stretching our low back. Then you can try taking the legs out one at a time or both together. You can keep them together or pull them apart. You can roll around on your back. Just releasing any sort of pent-up tension in the body. And then when you're ready to relax, take your time, but when you're ready to relax, unwind onto your back. Let your legs splay apart comfortably, your arms out to the sides, palms up, head centered, chin tucked in slightly, and eyes closed. I recommend taking the next few minutes to relax in stillness and silence. Shavasana.
Okay, yogins, so I hope you really enjoyed that sequence. And again, if you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more content like this. And if there are any questions, anything that you need clarification on, please leave that in the comments below. Until next time, namaste and thank you.